Hi, I'm Heather Lloyd.
Hi, I'm Kendall Taggart.
Hi, I'm Kaylee Kelly.
And today we are continuing with our, I guess what we're calling them is mini podcasts, where we are supporting the women who are running Wred, which is Women in Real Estate Development here in the city of Toronto. They are essentially a group of women who support networking, connection, and I guess communication between other women in the real estate industry. And this year they're doing their very first panel event and networking session for International Women's Day. And they've lined up a fantastic panel of 4 phenomenal women. And to support this event, we are actually doing these mini podcasts to make sure that everybody kind of knows who's going to be there. So the event's actually taking place on March 10th. And if you want to learn more, you can find out more at Wred Events, so WRED events.ca. And I guess we'll kick it off.
So joining us today is Jennifer Burstein. Thank you so much for being here. So Jennifer, you have a little bit of, or your background is more in construction, and you are the co-founder of Novi Blds. And so we're really looking forward to hearing from you. And can you kind of, to start, tell us a little bit about how you got started in the construction industry?
Yeah, thanks, ladies, for having me. I graduated from university in civil engineering, and I was 8 of 80 ladies at the time, of course, not too many of us. And when I went to apply for jobs, it was clear that you could either go into consulting or you can go into contracting. And I had no desire to sit at a desk and, design beams and columns as a civil engineer. And so I really wanted to get into contracting, into construction. It was no easy feat at the beginning. It took a number of months and a lot of conversations with different contracting companies. And for the most part, the feedback I received was, you're not meant for this. You don't have thick enough skin for it. Wow. Or, this is no place for ladies in the field, right? Yeah. And so, I tried out a couple of different options with different spaces. Got out of sort of the infrastructure side of things, and I thought, well, what about residential construction, like residential high-rise construction? And I managed to find a really, really small classified ad in the paper for someone looking for a project coordinator for a residential high-end development. It was 80 and 100 Yorkville. Mm-hmm. And I interviewed for them, and I got the position, which was great. And I think that they were interested in me at the time because it was a luxury condo, and maybe I had a bit more of the female touch to the design side of the business. Yeah. And the customizations were incredible on that project. And so I started working for them. It was a developer, smaller developer in VAR, and Granley Construction was their sort of in-house construction group. And we were JV'd with Tricon on that project. And it was a phenomenal project. I mean, almost every developer in the city bought a unit in this.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a 2005 launch. And I think they sold for like $500 a square foot at the time.
I feel like their sales center is it the Chanel?
It's the
shop?
Chanel now.
Yeah,
so it was.
wow.
So it's the original Mount Sinai Hospital for Women.
Oh, no way.
That's what the heritage facade was.
That's
we actually deconstructed the back, and we lifted the facade and rolled it out onto the street, onto Yorkville Avenue. And we left it there while we excavated it. And then once we were completed with the structure, we rolled it back in place and reconstructed it into place.
That's
amazing.
It
was, it's been a couple different retail tenants in there since, but it's the Chanel now.
Every time I pass by it, that's exactly what I think of as the launch of 100, eventually called marketing name was 100 Yorkville, I think.
Yeah, I think it was 100 Yorkville.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah. And so I had a lot of experience on that project. After a year of being a coordinator in the construction side of the business, I had the opportunity to jump into the development management space because there was an opening, right, Heather?
Yes. So I hear.
Yes, of course. I'm very grateful for that. And so I was able to work on, the permitting aspect, the consulting coordination aspect, a lot of the sales and marketing collaboration, eventually the design and customization with design consultants. And so I really worked full cycle on that project, which was really what got me a lot of experience in that project. And so once we were completed with all of the development side of the business, I jumped back into construction and assisted with overseeing the build, which was kind of complicated because it's Yorkville.
Yeah.
And there were 13 adjacent neighbors that we
Small
had to deal
spaces.
with.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was a lot of different, underground shoring systems, rakers, struts, cross beams, tiebacks, you name it. Sorry, I'm talking lingo.
No. I love it. I love all of it.
Yeah. But it was a great opportunity, and it also gave me a lot of visibility into the other developers in the marketplace too, because they were all purchasers at the time. So it really helped with the networking side of things.
That would be very interesting to do custom units with all the other
Yes.
developers.
Well, there were
Such a compliment too.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It was there were 100 units and there were 100 individual units. Literally, there was no one unit that was the same as the other. I mean, floor plates were the same in some spaces, but just finishing it was. And we put waterfalls in suites, like you.
Wow.
I was going to ask you what was like the most extravagant customization they did.
Yeah, we did. We did a waterfall in one unit. We actually. I shouldn't probably name this person, but we actually built a unit for a celebrity who didn't want any handles or hardware on the unit.
Wow.
And so from a germ perspective, we had to sort of keep all of the hardware off until he occupied the unit. So it's just a really funny thing.
Is that the strangest? Like, were there
I mean, that was
any-
the strangest request, right?
Is there anything that people requested that you could not do?
I mean, we couldn't change the structure, really, right?
Yeah.
So if there was a shear wall in place and they wanted an opening, we didn't really allow that.
Right.
We did have one unit that was so forward with, like, not forward, that's not the right word, classic gold finishes. And so we had to source these, like, gold swan faucets.
Oh my gosh.
And then a painter had to come in the rotunda in the entrance, paint the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. So it was...
That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, look, you had your really modern units and then your
Yeah.
really classic units too, right? It was fun times. Fun
Yeah,
times.
it'd be great to have like a doors open event in that building.
I know. I would love to go
there.
back because
Yeah.
we're talking 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Right. And so
Curious to see.
it's been a long time. So it would be
my
cool to see
gosh.
how it stood the test of time too.
Yeah.
What a
How
great
they've
way to
changed that.
start everything too for you. Like a good way to it's kind of like that's just everything thrown at you.
Absolutely.
With that
And
building.
I was so grateful for that. And that developer ended up developing a few more projects up in the Barrie, Kempenfelt Bay area, which I was able to participate in as well. And then around 2008 to 2010, things slowed down, as we all know. And I got the opportunity through a referral to join the team at Trump Tower. And so it was a really difficult decision for me to leave the developer that I was with because things were great. They were so good, but wow, I get to go onto a 60-story tower. Like this is pretty incredible. And they hired me there as a project manager for the residential portion. So the top 30 stories of the tower are residential and the bottom are hotel and amenity spaces. And so I got to join the team sort of when we were about halfway down the structure. So I didn't start from the beginning of that project, but working our way through and finishing. It was like building Yorkville again, but now in this point tower downtown, with like, it was great. I mean, they've rebranded it to the St. Regis now, but we had a lot of fun on that job. I actually met my husband working on that job.
That would make it a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the best part of me deciding to join that.
It's
fate. Yeah, it's fate.
Yeah.
And we've been married for 12 years now. So
And he's still in construction.
he sort of branched off.
Okay.
He's still in the construction engineering space, but he's in software sales.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. A little bit of a shift, but
Yeah.
construction's a hard place to be. He was more in the field too, so it was like 4 a.m. site, and
Yeah.
it's just difficult to do once you aren't in your 20s anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But nice to have a partner that you can collaborate with. Like,
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's great for that. I mean, just bouncing ideas off of and, challenges and whatnot. So, yeah. And he understands too that I'm a woman in this space.
Right.
And, I'm surrounded by men all day, all night.
Yeah.
Like, so I was at a restaurant once and it was me and 10 men, and the server came up and he said, "Are we filming The Bachelorette?" I was like, they wish. No, but that's my life though, right?
Yeah.
It's very rare that there's another lady involved. I mean, I love
Right.
it when there is, but there's few and far between
Right.
with women in our industry, unfortunately. It's changing. It's getting better.
Yeah.
And networks like Wred are great for that too. But yeah, I hope to see it improve in the future, certainly. Yeah.
Like, if you were going to hire someone to work beside as a woman, what qualities would you think they would need, like, to handle like a full men's kind of atmosphere? Like,
I think the best advice I give women is to not approach a conversation, a situation, a negotiation, any of those things with too much, I don't want to say strength, but I've had a lot of success in the past with asking questions and listening to the answers, right? So I'm not a plumber. I'm not a formwork contractor. I don't know exactly how they do their job. Yeah. I know how the whole project comes together and how to manage that and how to manage those people, but I'm not a specialist. And so when you sit in on a contract negotiation and discuss what needs to be done on the job, it's more of a question and answer period, right? Mm-hmm. Can you do this? This is what needs to be done. Can you get this done? And how do you plan on tackling it, right? And it's almost like a light goes off in their heads because they're like, oh, okay, I get to talk about what I'm an expert in, right?
Yeah.
And so that's really worked well. And I've seen some women in some situations where they'll come in and say, okay, here's what you have to do. Here's your laundry list. Tell me how long it's going to take this, or this is how long you have to do it.
Right.
And it just doesn't go well, And so I think being a bit humble and acknowledging that you're not, and this goes for men and women. Don't get me wrong. This isn't just a female thing. I mean, I think for females, we do have to have thicker skin, because there are still, old school players out there who can subconsciously be disrespectful without even realizing that they're doing it.
Yeah.
And you just gotta, I'm not ever suggesting anyone grin and bear it, but just take it with a grain of salt.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And, what was that real intention? It,
Right.
it wasn't intentioned to be rude. It was just sort of a slip of the tongue, maybe. So there's one other thing. Still, it feels as though you have to earn the respect rather than walking into a room and having it. And I think for some women, if they can be patient with that and prove their knowledge that they're just as good as the male project manager at the table, then they'll have a lot of success there. And as people get to know you and as people understand that, you're the real deal, then you earn the respect and you can hold on to that respect. But it's difficult, even for me at this level now, if I do walk into a room with people that I don't know. My business partner is, 6'2" big guy. He looks like he knows construction. He does, of course, but we'll go into a meeting and, some men may look at him and talk to him directly as opposed to looking at me.
Right.
But he's great because he'll just be like, this is the woman you need to be talking to.
He knows.
He knows. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's, it's good. And that's another huge advantage I have, is that I've always connected myself with people who would be advocates of mine, right?
Yeah.
And I've had so much luck. And maybe it's not luck. Maybe it's fate. Maybe it's just the way I've made it become. But I've met so many men in this industry who are advocates of mine.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful for that. And that's really helped improve the success and the trajectory of my career.
What would you say has been your greatest achievement in your career? It seems like you've worked on a lot of projects, but what would you say is that one that's really special?
So I think I stopped my timeline around 2011 with my career, right? So we still have another decade and plus to get through. But I certainly have to say my greatest achievement in my career is starting my own business.
Absolutely.
2 years ago, starting Novi Blds with my partner Oliver Mason was the best decision we've ever made. it was the most trying time in our industry. I think we all thought that we would get like a little 1-year reprieve, and then the market would bounce back and everything would be great.
Yeah.
And, we've been condo builders for our entire lives. And so we've had to pivot and look to the purpose-built rental market and learn different contract models. And it's forced us to be innovative in our methodologies, the way we construct, the way we hire people even. So it's been a challenge, but we're finally, I think, on the upper side of that in having 2 projects right now that we're about to break ground this year on.
Oh, that's exciting.
So our team, our team is lean and mean. There's 4 of us in the office, and I'd say by the end of the year we'll probably be closer to 20 people. So
wow, that's
it's
great.
And the intention is to pick up a few more jobs, not too many, because both my partner and I want to be hands-on on all of our projects.
Yeah.
So we're just, hoping to pick up enough to build up enough of a really, really strong A team in our industry. Yeah.
That's exciting.
That's exciting.
All right. Well, that's amazing. We can't wait to hear more from you on March 10th. Thanks so much for coming in today, Jennifer.
Thank you very much.
Jennifer.
I'll see you ladies on March 10th.
See you on March 10th.
Can't wait.